Today we're going to be looking over Shanks, the leader, giving a full deck profile as always. A little less editing, a little less flair today, but we have flair in the shirt, and that makes up for everything, right guys? Shanks, if you don't know, once per turn you may activate this effect when your opponent attacks. Give one of your opponent's leaders or characters minus 1,000 power, so we can complete free 1k counter every single turn. It's very strong, but you have to utilize it properly. People say it's a very skillless deck, and sometimes I agree, sometimes I don't. I think sometimes you just high roll and just win, and then sometimes you have to skillfully claw your way back. So I think this is a fun deck profile. We're going to be using some of the new Shanks support, including the 9-drop Shanks, which actually is a 6 cost if your opponent has an 8,000 base power character or higher. And then it also says, on play if your leader is red-haired pirates type or Uta, your leader gets plus 2,000 until the end of your turn. So we get a plus 2,000 power, similar to the 9-drop Newgate, and I think it's just a really strong card. A 9-drop 10k that makes you a 7k leader when we have a free minus 1,000 power, so our opponent has to swing for 8 to even touch us. I mean, this is really, really good. We're also going to be testing out the Uta, which just says if you have a character with 10,000 power or more, this card has minus 4 cost in hand. Otherwise, it's just a 2k counter. 6 cost 4k blocker is not good, but a 2 cost 4k blocker with a 2k counter, I'm not upset about it. So the goal is to kind of, drop something big like this on 6, play this out for 2, and then you're on 8 Dawn total. Now you have extra Dawn to either play out like a Building Snake or hold one for Divine Departure or to swing in aggressively on a 10 Dawn turn. Tons and tons of options here in these two cards when you combine them. We're running 3 of the Shanks today because we are running 3 of the other 10-drop Shanks and 2 of the other 10-drop Shanks, playing a more removal-focused build of Shanks here. And I'm excited to test out this deck list altogether. We have Utama for a 2k counter to give minus 2,000 power. We replaced the Lime Juice with the Uta just to test it out. I don't think Uta is the premier best card, but I think it's an option for sure, and I'd like to try it out and just see how it does in a deck that possibly could use some more blockers. I mean, I've had matchups against Shank where all they have is Lucky Roo, and if they can't find any more of them, once they run out, they're just in a bad position. So I think just having some kind of 2-cost jump blocker that's a 2k counter is really good. Lime Juice doesn't really come up as often as you'd like it to. Now maybe it would in a matchup like this because we do run the Red Force, the Otamas, the Building Snakes. Maybe you can use Lime Juice a little more, but we're going to be testing it out this way today. We have Hongo to give minus 2,000 power, Marco KOing a 3,000 power, Shanks KOing a 10,000 power, Rayleigh giving minus 3,000 and minus 2,000 to 2 separate characters and KOing a 3,000 power lower. We have Uta, which is just a 1-cost top 5 searchers for red-haired pirates, 10-drop Rush Shanks, which gives minus 1,000 across the board, Building Snake gives minus 3,000 power, Beckman trashes a 6,000 power, Yasop gives plus 1,000 to your leader. Lucky Roo KOs a 6,000 power on KO. We've already been over these two. 0-cost event, you know what these do. Divine Departure giving plus 1,000 or plus 3,000 power, or tap 5 more Dawn KO an 8,000 power character for removal focused build like we're running. And then we have 2 of the Red Force, the Stage, that gives minus 1,000 power every single turn that we can use over and over and over again, which I think the control version is very strong thanks to this Stage. So I'm excited to give you guys the full deck profile and then go into some games here. Always excited to play some games on the sim, and yeah, let's see how Red Shanks does. We're gonna start off against Purple Black Luffy. I like this because we can be a removal face. They take second, which is really interesting here, so I think we're gonna keep this hand. We have the Uta, we have the Red Force, we can swing in for 6. We're gonna look at the top cards of the deck. We're gonna grab a KO Shanks here in this matchup, put the Otama towards the top, Building Snake towards the bottom, and really look for that Shanks again and pass to our opponent here. They're gonna be on 2 Dawn for the Monkey D Luffy. Interesting that they took second. I think they just think second is that strong for Shanks, so I understand why they're doing it. They draw a Nico Robin off the 1-cost searcher. Look in the top 3 cards and grab a Straw Hat Crew. So they get Nico Robin. It's just a 3k that ramps them a Dawn basically, or 3 cost, and then they play another one to grab a Frankie. Frankie's pretty good. I actually really like Frankie personally. We're going to swing in for 6 at our opponent. We could have gone 5 and 5, but I think we're going to go for developing the Red Force early just to have it. I think it's going to be very strong for some removal focused kind of thing. So we can almost pop a, with this, I mean, if we had the Hongo, we could easily pop a 10-cost Luffy here. That'd be kind of my next goal. That'd be fun. We're just going to use Leader Effect, minus 1 for free. Might as well. They're going to play down a 4-cost or a Zero. Look in the top 5, grabbing a Straw Hat Crew. They're going to grab the Beer Luffy, as people call it. And yeah, I think we're just going to go Lucky Roo, so we're going to swing 6. I mean, the goal here is just to play on curve. We don't have any removal just yet. We're going into 7 Dawn, so a Bin Beckman would be nice for the Beer Luffy, but we don't have one. So what we can do is block out with Lucky Roo out of the Zoro Zero attack, pop the Zoro Zero. They're going to play Beer Luffy for sure, so then they're going to swing 7 at us. We're just going to take, because we're going to search for that Bin Beckman. That's kind of the goal with taking this life. It's a Bin Beckman, puts us in a really good spot. So no effect, blocked, and just go ahead and pop the Zoro Zero. Might as well just remove it off the board. Now they play Beer Luffy. They swing in for 8 at us. because they get the one Dawn back as active. I'm assuming they're going to use them all to swing, not hold up a Gum Gum Giant this early. I don't think you really need it, especially because you're only at 3 life. So we're just going to take that. We do find the bin Beckman off the top. That was kind of the goal. So we're going to go and give minus 1,000 here. And then we're going to bin Beckman, trash the Luffy, and pass. So we get exactly what we need. He was a 7k leader, so we were not able to swing him. We have 2 of the removal Shanks, and we have just a lot of removal in general. So keep that in mind. That's why this red force is just so good. It got us to exactly what we needed. And now next turn, we can give it minus 1,000 again. And our opponent may swing all out again. We're just going to take. I mean, we are in a very safe spot here, especially because we can drop this Rayleigh on the next turn. Give minus 1,000 now. In this situation, I honestly think we just take again. We're very safe because we're clearing up the board very aggressively. So we're in a really good spot here. We're going to go ahead and give minus 1,000 again. We're going to be tapping 8 here, so we're not going to be able to swing. So we're going to go Rayleigh. We're going to go -3, -2, and pop the Beer Luffy again. And then we're going to go ahead and play down the Raise Max, or Building Snake, I guess is which one this is. We could have swung him with 7 with Beckman. I actually should have swung him with 7 for Beckman, just to get 1 card out of hand, but we did not think about it. It's okay, though. We're just developing a very big board here. This is if your opponent has an 8,000 base power character or more, which they won't have in this matchup, so I don't think Shanks is going to do too much. Now, maybe becoming a 7k leader is good. They play out the Frankie, discard 1, draw 2. Very simple. They have 7 total Dawn now. They're going to play out another Frankie here. They're going to Dawn -2 again. They're really searching through the deck, and I'm okay with that. This tells me we have plenty of options here to swing in aggressively because they have 3 blockers on the board, which we're totally okay with. Now, they could swing very heavy, but we have a large hand size, so with them going 7, leaving 1 up for Gum Gum Giant, we are going to -1 and then counter out here because we shouldn't take too many. We've already taken a lot of swings here, I'm not going to lie. We do have removal pieces, so we may just go for the removal just because we can. If not, we may not. We have options. To say the least, we have options. We're going to swing 5. They should counter out. We're going to go and swing 7. They should counter out, or block out maybe. Block out of one of these. We're just going to play a 10-drop Shanks because we can. They're going to Dawn -1, look at the top 3 cards, and grab a Straw Hat Crew type card. They're going to end up grabbing the Monkey D. Luffy, the 9-cost Rush Luffy. So we're going to go ahead and play down, because that's a 10k power. We're going to play one of our Shanks to make him think we're not thinking, but we are thinking here. We're going to pass. We have options in hand. We have 5k counter. If they go for removing Rayleigh, we just minus it by 1, and we're really safe, I mean, honestly. Plenty of options. We could also go for this Shanks here and go more, you know, extra power, but I think we can save that for later. I think if we can pop it, we might as well, especially because, I mean, we have the power to. Now, if he swings into Beckman, we may 2k, 1k out. We're about to play a 10 drop. I don't think I worry about this. I don't think I worry about it. I think I just let it go, actually. Because we have so many big options in this deck, I don't think we're too worried. We can easily 10-drop Shanks here and swing into it. I may even try to flush out the Gum Gum Giant, because now they know a 12k could come after this into a 9k, because I give it -1,000. Now we just leader effect, and they don't have the extra cost, which doesn't do anything against our deck. We do get the Silver's Rayleigh here. We know exactly what we're doing, so I think we're just going to go 5 in a face. We're going to completely ignore this guy. I don't need to flush cards out of hand. I'm going to flush it out by swinging aggressively. I'm going to swing 8 here with the Silver's Rayleigh, and now we are going on to swing 12 with the Shanks. And boom, bam, bop. Now our opponent's in a really bad spot. They have to take this life or block. I'm okay with them blocking. We're going to play this, pop the Luffy, and pass. Now we have tons of options. Still have all of our counter in hand, and it's like, I mean, Ben Beckman would have been nice for 1 extra attack there, but it definitely wasn't needed. Now, they're like, okay, well, we have the Beer Luffy again. Well, I'm not going to let that guy stick around, if you can't tell. If you can't tell, we are going to pop that guy again, because this is just a removal-focused list. I mean, we have all the options in hand. I mean, it's been a really good draw for us. I'm not going to lie. This has been a very, very good draw. Our opponent hasn't been able to keep 1 card in hand. They're going to swing 10 into us. We're going to give -1,000 and then a 2k counter Hongo, because at this point, Hongo's not going to be reusable over and over again. And now we can just go -1. And then I think we start swinging in first, because we could go Rayleigh, we could go Beckman, but Beckman's counter, so we're definitely going to go Rayleigh here, which is going to be, so we can go 7. I almost feel like it might be better to go 9, 12, 13, or maybe we go 9, 12, 12, leaving 1 Dawn active just to bait out an event. We know we're going to pop the Luffy here, so we're in a really safe spot. They go ahead and flush out a Gum Gum Giant here for a 2k counter. And our opponent's going to lose a lot of Dawn, so we're going to go 12. And then we're going to go 12. I mean, why not? If our opponent can counter out of this, they should just take the first one because they're going to have a second one coming in anyways. Does 13 do anything into 7? I think so. Yeah, it does actually. Now it's going to be a Gum Gum Giant, a 2k, and a 1k, so we're going to get a lot of value out of this. They go 0 cost event and then Gum Gum Giant, I'm assuming. No, 2k, 2k. Okay. I actually like that a lot. So we're going to go ahead and play out Rayleigh. We're going to give -3. No other cards, pop it, and pass. So, I mean, our opponent has to go for the Gusto, and I don't think there's a way they can go for the Gusto here and not, you know, not lose. They're going to go 9 face. We're going to go ahead and leader effect and give, well, all they can do is 9 and 9. So we're just going to -1 on the leader. They can't have a second attack. We're not worried about taking these two. We can take 9 and 9. Well, I guess they have the extra Dawn now. They can go 9, 9, 5, but we just take these, and then we just swing all out. They don't have a 1-cost blocker, and even if they did, we just remove it very easily. They swing in for 5. I mean, we'll give them a Beckman. Not that it really matters. 22, can you get out of that? Nice. GG's to our opponent there. We just controlled the board like crazy. That was a really fun win. I actually felt pretty good about that, but we did high roll. We got every single 10 drop and 8 drop that we needed. I think getting this 10 drop KO Shanks, so many people hate on this card, and I'm a very big advocate for it. I mean, I think in a removal format, I think this is really, really good. In a low removal format, I should say. And Blue Purple Luffy being so good, I think just popping a character, putting them down to 1 character last turn, and you up to a character that's a 12k, I think puts you in a really good spot. So I think this card is going to make a very, very large comeback. Green Yellow Law. I'm actually really excited to take this matchup. We're going to take second because that's what Green Yellow Law wants. We're going to keep this because we have a very removal focused hand, and our goal is to pop the Veggie as soon as possible. So we need some low end. We need to hit a Marco because Veggie can be a big issue for our deck in specific. I think given this -1000 power is going to be very strong, possibly into some bigger options later on. They grab a Kid Killer to search the deck. It looks like they're playing my build. We're going to go and give -1 because we can. I mean, it doesn't matter if we rest the stage or not. It doesn't do anything. It was literally just to do it, honestly. I mean, there wasn't too much of a purpose there. We're going to... See, I'm an aggressive Shanks. I like to take. I want to find more options. We find a 2k counter. We have a ton of counter in deck, so that's good to have. No removal yet. They grab a Cavendish, and we're on 4 Dawn. We don't really have anything to do. I don't think we need a Hongo later on in the match, so we may just swing all out, force them to go ahead and take a life. It's not the best play. Do we need Hongo later? I don't feel like we need Hongo later. I mean, it helps with the 7-drop 9k, but we have the 10-drop Shanks for that. It may help into Kid, I guess, and they don't really have a way to get rid of Hongo. So maybe we have it for Kid, but we have the Otamas for Kid. So it's like, I don't think we play Hongo. If I'm wrong later, I think we just drop the Hongos as our counter and Otamas to save because we can play them for pretty cheap. We also have the -1000 for Kid when they play the Kid out later. 8 cards in hand. We don't have a way to really mess with their hand, which isn't great for us. They go and play Cavendish. They get 2 Dawn back. They should play out a Veggie here, take the top life, set it as a blocker. Yep. Now put 1 Dawn, bounce the Veggie back, and then use the Law to replay either the Kid Killer or the Luffy. Just to draw more cards in hand, basically losing 0 cards in hand this turn, which is obviously very strong. We are going to play Yasop this turn. We replay the Monkey D. Luffy, look at the top 5, grab a Supernova type. I think that's really good. I actually think I'd go for replaying the Kid Killer just because it doesn't have any stipulation to the effect, so you could grab a Monkey D. Luffy. We will counter out of this. We're going to go 2k counter Hongo here because that's the Hongo we would have played last turn anyways. Now we know we're going to go and go Yasop. We're going to give +1000 to our leader and swing in for 7 at our opponent here. They could block in 2k, but at least that gets cards out of hand, and we're going to go and force out 2ks. We should have red forced the blocker first, forcing them in a more position where they have to take, and then we'll pass. So that was a misplay. I mean, just having the red force to minus down the Law for free. I mean, we minus the Luffy for no reason. We might as well have done it to a Law, if you ask me. Now, our opponent's going to be on 6 Dawn. They don't have the 7 Dawn play, which is really good for us. We're going into 8. We're going to be able to Rayleigh here. I think that's going to be really good for us because even if they swing the Cavendish, now we go -3 on Cavendish, and then -2 on Law, and then pop the 2-cost blocker that saves their characters from being KO'd, which puts us in a really good spot. I think Rayleigh's really good in this matchup. I think it's probably one of the most important cards to find. It's not searchable, which does suck. I mean, obviously, that is going to be a problem in the deck. You want to get as many as you can, but we know exactly what we're doing next turn. We know we're going to drop Rayleigh. You just play on curve with Shanks. It's really simple. We're going to go for popping these big 5-cost characters or removing them as best as possible. Now, Dizzy is going to be over here. He wants love and attention. I see you, buddy. I see you, buddy. Now our opponent is trying to decide what to do. They're going to swing in for 8. I think we let this go. He could go 1 Dawn, pop this back, restand the 2, have 6, maybe replay this, replay a blocker. So I think we're going to let this go because I think he's trying to bait out our leader effect now. I think we just take a big 8. We're actually going to use the trigger minus down the Cavendish, putting him in a bad spot for swinging the Cavendish. It allows us to control the board a little better. Now he bounces back the Law, gets those Dawn back just like I said, and then swings 3 into us. Obviously we just let that go. He's just doing it to get the Dawn back, but it gives him no attack basically. Now we just leader effect, make it -1000. That's why he was trying to do it earlier with the Law. It was a good way. It was a good play, I'm not gonna lie. But now we have options. So what we're gonna do here is Silver's Rayleigh, -3, -2, pop the Veggie here, and then we're gonna give -1000 more to the Law, and then we're gonna go 5 into 3, and then we're gonna go 6 into 3. We should get 2 cards out of hand here, and then we should get the blocker out of the next attack. They don't want to have to counter out. Now they do know they have another Cavendish coming up, so maybe that's why they choose to play it this way. We're gonna go and swing 6. We're okay with them swinging into a 6k body. We have the 10 drop to pop a character as long as they don't play out another Veggie. Now they can pop back their Luffy, play out Cavendish, and really replace the Luffy or the Cavendish pretty easily, but we pop the Veggie and remove the Cavendish and make this into a 4000 power character. So I'd say we're in a pretty good spot. They have 10 cards now. They're going to add Cavendish back to the top of their life, put 1 Dawn on the Trafalgar Law. Now they're going to bounce back the Luffy, play out the Cavendish, and then probably replay a Luffy to search the top cards, swing pretty heavy into Yasop, go ahead and remove them off the board so there's less problems and answers on the board. The only issue here is that if we play this 10-drop Shanks, we're not finding anything else. Ooh, Bonnie I did not expect, I'm not going to lie. I did not expect anything from the... I did not expect the Bonnie. So our opponent's going to swing 8 at us. That's going to be their only swing this turn. But I don't really want to counter out, so I'm just going to take aggressively. I know, this is just how I play. We're going to go ahead and red force down the Law. I think we're going to... Yes, I have Lucky Roo, Beckman, Cavendish. I think we're going to just swing 5 into Bonnie. We remove that very easily. Now we could go 10 drop pop pop Law. We have Beckman for Kid to trash the Kid. We have removal focused options, so we're gonna go and do this. Pop the 7/9 just to get a big body off the board. We have a ton of counter in hand. We're acting like we have no counter basically. I mean, playing on curve like this and showing our options, I think we're really kind of baiting him into feeling like, hey, this guy has no counter. We're going to swing in for 6. He's going to counter. We're going to swing in for 8. He's going to take, more than likely, and set up for Eustace Kid this turn because he does have the Cavendish. He does choose to block out instead, meaning he does not have the Eustace Captain Kid. Now, if he plays one, we're assuming he probably top-decked it right there because I think in this situation, you definitely just take right there. I think if you're going to set up 8-drop Kid, now you have more cards in hand. They play Monkey D. Luffy, looking at the top 5. They're going to grab a Trafalgar Law blocker, giving them another blocker on the board. Now, Lucky Roo is going to be very strong into this next turn. They're going to play another Monkey D. Luffy. They're going to be reusing these Luffys like crazy. They're going to get Veggie on the board. Veggie's going to be really good. Veg, 7-drop, 9k, boom. They put a Trafalgar Law into life. So what they're going to do here is pop back Luffy, play out 5-drop Law, replace Luffy with 2-cost Veggie, is what I'm assuming. And then now they're going to swing 7. They're going to swing 6. We are going to... They're gonna go 6 and then possibly 9. So I think we have to get out of this. I think we're gonna give them a 2k counter Hongo here and then save the leader effect, depending on what they choose to swing into. They're gonna swing another 6 here, so we will -1 and then give them the Aesop so we can save our 2k counters. We also definitely want to save the Lucky Roo here. They're gonna play a Bonnie blocker, so they're setting up a ton of blockers. And here we could double Lucky Roo. I'm not gonna lie to you. We're gonna give -1000 power here. We could Beckman, you know, and then get rid of Veggie. I just don't feel like that's valuable enough. Because we Beckman Veggie, which does not feel good at all. Because this stops any removal at all, basically. We could Beckman add this to the top of life. Are we against that? What is our goal here? I think that's the biggest question. We know we're not using all the Dawns, so I think we're going to start with 7 here and give it -1, because if we can get all the blockers off the board, it'll kind of tell us what we should do. I think that's going to be the best option. We want to give the -1000 power first. We want to make the blocker into a 5k so we can't just block in 2k, forcing us into the blocker. And that does disappear off the board, so I'm a lot less worried about Beckman at this point. Now I'm just going to go into face and just put on the pressure. I'm not worried about Beckman at all, because what we can do is double Lucky Roo. Double Lucky Roo will be able to pop any of the blockers he doesn't give us. If he gives us all the blockers, it sets us up for later, or it just saves us. I mean, having blockers is always going to be good. We're going to swing in for 12 next. Again, if he had Kid, he should take. But it tells me he doesn't have Kid. Well, now we can Beckman. We could literally... I wish we still had the Red Force, but obviously we needed to use it. That was a good play. We can just Beckman the Law. Since he gave us that, we'll just go and Beckman. I don't think we need Lucky Roo then. If you're going to give us the whole board, I'm just going to take it. Like, I think that was just a misplay. This is a really hard deck to pilot, guys. No hate on the player. He's still learning. We're still learning our matchup as well. You can see we haven't even used the new Shanks. I'm trying to get you guys a game where we actually use the Shanks here, but this is just Shanks gameplay at this point. I think Shanks is pretty good into the match, into the meta, especially I think I'm telling you, 10-drop Shanks, very good card. Gets rid of an 11k body if you have the Red Force in your deck, and Red Force is very good, so I'm enjoying this deck altogether. Shanks is not as miserable as I once thought it would be. Now, they could 8-drop Kid, put 1 Dawn on Kid. They don't really have any options after that, though, because they don't have the Cavendish to give them back the Dawn, which is basically the biggest setup, because they did let the Cavendish go for free. I think they should have countered out one of the swings and then just blocked out the other 3, saving Cavendish for a Kid. But, again, we haven't seen them pull it. They could go Hody Jones, but then they just rest our Dawn and our Beckman. We don't really care about that, and we know they don't have lethal if that's what they choose to do. So that's going to be 7 Dawn, 2 extra, so it's 7, 8, 9. I'll take all of them. I'll take it all just to prove a point. Our opponent shouldn't have a way out after that. Should not have a way out. Looking at the top 5 for Monkey D. Luffy, they grab a Jewelry Bonnie blocker. That's going to be really good for them. Just having more blockers on the board is always good. They may swing in for 6 here into Yasop. We're going to go and give them -1 and then see what they choose to do after that. Now, they could go really heavy into the Shanks and then go for Bonnie, but that'd be 5 Dawn, 14 into 12. Doesn't really get them anywhere. 9 into 6. This is not our final option, so we let it go. Saving the cards in hand for later. Now they're going to double blocker. They're going to play out a 5-drop Law or a 5-drop Bonnie. That's actually really strong. Alright, so don't think this is over yet. Don't think this is over yet. I think we go ahead and play down the Uta. Look at the top of the deck. We're going to play out... We're going to grab the Shanks. We are getting the Shanks here. We're going to play out the Shanks, become a 7k leader, -1000 power here. We could have gone for lethal, but it wasn't guaranteed, so we're going to go 7 to face to start. See what our opponent decides to do. We have options to switch up and go into the Law just to remove it off the board, because our opponent is in a place where they kind of need to go for lethal. So they do counter out, so we could go 8 into the Law, just forcing out more cards. We could go 8 into face and force out the blocker. I think going into face is better here, because we can go 8 and 8. It's just going to force more cards out. We're going to leave 2 up, bluffing that we may have the event to KO their characters. The reason we did that, because that guaranteed the block. I mean, it doesn't really guarantee the block or anything. We are a 7k leader, though. They only have 3 attacks. They have to hit us 3 times, and we have 8k counter and 9k with leader effect. I mean, we're just safe. Honestly, we are just safe. Thanks to them having the 8,000 base power character, we were able to play this out for 6 Dawn and then still swing very hyper aggressively, leaving 2 Dawn active just to bluff the event, forcing them to play around and be like, hey, more than likely you just got this. And it's more a mental game at this point, especially, I mean, dropping that 9-drop Shanks felt really good. Now, I think his face looks a little weird to me, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, he looked cool and all, but I like this Shanks a lot more. I think this looks a lot more Shanksy. But anyways, the Bonnie, really strong effect right there. Just freezing down a 10-drop for 5 Dawn is very good. Obviously, if we had the Shanks right there, we just go for game. Like, we just go for the Gusto every time because it's a 10-12. I mean, we don't have to either because we're not in a position to lose. So just keep that in mind. A good player, if you're not going to lose the game, you shouldn't go for the game. I mean, there's basically just no point. It's like, do I die? No. Okay, then I'm safe. They rest both of our Dawn. See, we baited them in. Nice and easy. So they're going to be able to go 8 into face. What if I just take this? I'm not scared. I don't lose. I know that. And I don't want him to play a 3-cost blocker. I mean, not that the blocker would really do anything with the board we have, but I don't want him any chance of him removing the board. He has literally no way to win. I'll just take every single one of these. See, he did that incorrectly as well, because he went 7s last after he hit me, and that just don't make sense. We're going to give him a Beckman here. And GG's. GG's to our opponent, and we had a ton of counter. I mean, we were sitting on 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. We could have had the Hongo down earlier, but I think he would have seen it. Wouldn't have done anything, so I'm kind of happy with how things went. I think we did that very well. On to the next game here. And our final match is going to be against Marshall D. Teach. We are always going to take second in this matchup, and I think we're going to keep this hand, possibly, maybe. I just want to be able to show off the Shanks, but I don't think it's a good hand to keep. I don't think this is much better, though. I'm not going to lie to you. And they don't even use full lead, so that tells us maybe they just have a good hand. We're just going to pass the turn there. Nothing to develop on 2. We have Marco to KO a character, but obviously we probably won't even have on plays at that point. The goal is just to get a lot of bodies on board. And, yeah, that's about all I got for this matchup. This matchup is very difficult. This does have an on play. I think almost all of our characters have on plays. Now, this is a 6-cost character to play out, so we can play out 2 bodies in the same turn. The Uta and the Shanks, giving us a lot of options. They discard a Burgess, look at the top 3 cards, and grab another card. Let's check out what they actually grab, so we have the information on their hand. They grab a Van Augur, and I think they're just going to swing a big 8. They're going to swing 6. We're just going to take. We get a Hongo. Hongo's definitely not bad. We were looking for some kind of early option. It gives us some kind of early option here. So I think we're just going to swing in for 5 at our opponent. We're going to Uta first and decide. I just didn't want any chance of the Uta being KO'd. I know that's stupid, but the Uta can swing the dot Q, and so can the Hongo. Gives us options on the board. I think we're going to look at the top 5. We're going to grab probably a Yasop. Giving minus 1,000 power is really good. We already have 2Ks. Ben Beckman's good, but we won't have the ability to actually use the on play. So I'm going for lower cost characters here, because later in the game we can develop those. Now, we are going to play down this 2K counter, so maybe grabbing a 2K wouldn't have been bad, but we do have the Divine Departure for later. I'm not too worried about taking life. They could dot Q, kill the Uta, but then we swing Hongo into dot Q. They grab the This Is My Age. They're probably going to play that out. Or they could go Van Augur here. They could Van Augur and then dot Q the Hongo. And then we just Uta the dot Q and then swing heavy into Van Augur. Or maybe we swing 6 into Van Augur, I guess, because they're going to play a 5-drop. Kind of depends on what they decide to do here. I don't think that's a bad play at all. It also protects their life for sure, especially in a matchup. I mean, we need to find our 10-drop Ross Shanks. That's the biggest card in this matchup, the most helpful card. Now, this does say 8,000 base power or more, so it does not count the Jesus Burgess, which gets plus 1,000 for every 4 cards in trash. Just keep that in mind that it does say base power specifically, so you cannot play this out for 6 for that card. They play out the This Is My Age. They grab the 7-drop Teach. 7-drop Teach is KOing a 3-cost character. Pretty good. Pretty good right there, I'm not gonna lie. They're gonna be able to play that on curve next turn, so they should Van Augur now. So our goal should be getting rid of Van Augur, because if not, they Van Augur and then KO the Yasop. Now they play out Finger Pistol. Interesting. I don't know if that's the best idea. Maybe to fill up the trash. Maybe. They pop the dot Q, saves their life. I get it. They don't stop our on plays here, so we are going to swing in for 6 at our opponent and then play down the Marco. Go ahead and pop the dot Q. So they'll probably take this life right here, and then we'll Marco and KO the dot Q because they did not leader effect. They get to draw an extra card, so they have 7 cards in hand total. Dude, my mustache is getting me. It's getting me right now, guys. We have counter. We have options. Yeah, we're just going to see where this goes. This is a tough matchup for sure. Now, they're going to be able to 7-drop. We do have an event in hand, so let's just say just trash one event, play this character from your trash is rested. So that's on KO. So if a card gets KO'd, like by the 7-drop teach we did see earlier, we can actually do this. Now, I think we're in a really good spot. I don't think we're in the best spot. I think we just continue to play out, bodies on the board. Should make us safe. They should have saved the 4-cost event, the finger pistol, for something bigger, my personal opinion, but I guess clearing up the whole board's good. They grab another Van Augur, so we know Van Augur, teach. We haven't seen them drop the other Van Augur, so they definitely have Van Augur, teach. We're going to use this effect, trash the Divine Departure, and bring it back out. They could swing 8 into it, or we'll just give them -1. They do use the other finger pistols or finger gun. They could finger gun. No, they can't finger gun again. They discard a card for Black Hole, and then that will stop our on plays this turn. They're going to swing 8 into Marco. We're going to give -1 and then give them a 2k counter Otama because they're not really developing a board here, which is really good for us. The goal is for them to not develop the board, and we're in a good spot thanks to that. The 7-drop teach just hasn't found its spot yet. I think playing out the Van Augur earlier would have been better. And I think here we're going to go... I think we're just going to play out Rayleigh. Honestly, I think that's the best option at this point. They're going into 9 Dawn, play the biggest body. So we're just going to go 5, 6, and then 8. Because that gives us the option on 10 to play out 2 5-costs, which is the biggest detriment to this Black Marshal D Teach deck. They have to counter out of one of these or both of these. Now we lost 1 Van Augur, so we know Van Augur and Teach is still in hand. 3 cards are unknown, and we have to keep that in mind because we're trying to control what our opponent has. We know what they have. We haven't seen a 2K. They should have at least 1 2K in hand, probably 1 10-drop. They give us a stronger out of hand, and then we just go Rayleigh and pass. So puts a big body on the board. We still have a ton of counter in hand, and then we can go Shanks next turn if they play an 8,000 power character. I think the Marshal D Teach is 8,000 power, so if they do go for developing the Marshal D Teach, we're good with that. I will play this character out for 6 Dawn, and then play this character out for 2 Dawn, and then still swing 7 at your face. Now they discard Liberation. We did know about Liberation as well, actually. I didn't even think about that. They grab Katarina Devon. This is a activate main, trash this card. If your leader has a Blackbeard Pirate type, give one of your opponent's characters -1,000. Then on KO, draw 1 card. So it's aight. We don't have the effect again. They do use another finger gun, so that's their 3rd finger gun of the game, and they have 5 total Dawn. Now they could just swing all out. They may Van Augur. They could Kuzan. Kuzan's going to be really good. Draw 1 card, and then play out a character from the trash, being Jesus Burgess. Jesus Burgess just being an amazing option for our opponent here. Now we're just going to leader effect -1 for free because they have a 10k body. It would be nice to take a card, but then they go more aggro into our face. So they're going to Black Hole us here, and we're going to be on that 10 Dawn we were just talking about. So I think we're going to go 7, 8, and then we're going to put 2 bodies on the board. It's going to be the Uta blocker and the Shanks, so we have a blocker at least on the board. Oh no, we can't. Shanks. Man. We can Uta. Oh, if you have a character. Well, that sucks. We cannot Shanks. I forgot. I even mentioned it was base power. I even mentioned that it was base power. That was so dumb. That was so dumb. I literally was the one who mentioned it earlier. I was like, hey, I need you guys to remember this. It says base power, so it doesn't count for Burgess. And then I just blanked, man. It's just one of those days, I guess. We just blanked. Definitely read your cards, guys. Read your cards. I should have just played out Shanks altogether, become a 7k leader. Well, we didn't have that option. They should stop the Silver's Rayleigh here from attacking, thanks to the Marshal D Teach. And our goal here is just to continue to spam out bodies on the board. I think it's that simple. Now, this will count now, which is nice. They're going to stop the... Okay. They really want to hit the Silver's Rayleigh for 11. We don't have a leader effect, so we will have to counter out of this. 0. And then 1. I don't really want to drop the Uta, because that's 2 options for next turn. So I think we're going to go boom, bam. I know that might not be as efficient, but the goal is to put a lot of bodies on the board. We don't have to swing our opponent next turn. They have to swing us, so it puts us in a good spot. We're going to start with swinging 5 at our opponent, decide what to do from there. We are going to Shanks and Uta next turn. They discard a card, get rid of our leader effects or our on plays altogether. We're running out of cards in hand. They're going to swing 5 at us. We are actually going to take this, get a Ben Beckman into hand. That's actually not bad. Let's start with just a 5. See what our opponent does. They should just counter out from hand. That's kind of the goal here. The goal is to basically just go for the Gusto next turn. So, boom, boom. And then we know not to swing the Rayleigh because we only have the 2 Dawns, so there's basically no point. We're just going to pass there. They have to go for game, basically, because with a board like this, I mean, even with another 10-drop Teach, 10-drop Teach stops Shanks. Another 10-drop Teach, so block, so you block. You have to get out of 2 attacks. I guess they're still safe, technically. They just only have 2 swings, the leader swing and the Burgess. We just give minus 1,000 and take the Burgess swing. I think that's kind of where we're at in the game. So maybe another Teach is good. We have the Uta as a blocker as well. So in case we don't want to take a swing, we can also use this later. Or if we don't want to swing in on our opponent, we have options, guys. We have options. Now, if they get a 3rd Teach and we're not getting a 10-drop rush option, it puts us in a worse spot. They use the full lead, discard the Kusan, they grab a Jesus Burgess, and that's almost telling me they don't have the 10-drop. Now, if they do have the 10-drop, maybe they're just trying to grab more counter into hand, and I can see where that comes in as well in the game. So, just seeing what our opponent has to do. They do have another 10-drop Teach, so they're going to nullify our leader effect, stop the Shanks, and now we're in a pretty bad spot. I'm not going to lie. We could counter out of this. We kind of need to counter out of this is the issue. That's the big issue here. Now, our Shanks can't attack. We lose our leader effect. They swing 12. We have to take. We get a Yasop. Yasop is not going to do too much for us here, so we have to think of this through. Because they only have to get out of 1 swing, so it'd be like 7... So 3 puts 7, 2 puts 7, 1 puts 7, 4 goes 12. So it would be 8, 8, 8, right? 9. So basically if they have 2 2Ks out of these 2 cards, we just lose. I don't see another option on the board. I think that's literally it. I think we just have to go 8s across the board. They should just take the first one. We have to hit them twice. They have 28 cards in trash. They drop 2 more. They get Burgess up more, I think. No, 32. They just hit 28, so they would need 4 more. Okay, that doesn't work. We're gonna go 8 in the face. If they decide to block, we're gonna have to figure something out quick. We're gonna have to figure something out very quick. Removing a body off the board would be very nice at that point. The goal would be just probably strap up on Burgess or on Rayleigh. Now we can go 8 more into face, see what they decide to do. 8 is kind of the magic number. 8, and then we're gonna go 9, 9. No, 8, 9, because that's a 4K. We're gonna go 8 again, see how that does. It looks like they might not. We know they have 1K. They need to counter out of an 8. We're trying to hold the 5 just in case. But if we don't get this, they just win. Okay. 2K, 2K. Alright. Well, I think that just means we lose at that point. I think we just pass. We have a blocker on the board. We have 2K counter. Playing another body on the board would be nice, but it just doesn't work. Now, obviously, we couldn't swing with the Shanks thanks to the Morphsity Teach effect, and we're just trying to not lose the game. So at that point, you just have to pass. If we play another character on the board, I mean, we're just losing counter at that point. We only have 2K. They have a 12K, 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 15K. So it's theoretically impossible because they just have to hit us 3 times. Now, if we did have some kind of counter event, we'd be in a really good spot. Give me a Radical Beam, please. They grab another 10-drop Teach. So what they could do is literally just go for clearing board. I mean, honestly. If they 10-drop Teach, they just stop this from attacking again. They go 12, 12. Yep, looks like that's the game. I mean, at that point, I don't see why you wouldn't do that. Because you swing 5 in the face, forcing us like, hey, if you don't counter this, you just lose the game guaranteed. So then after that, you just go 12 and 12, and then you can hold up 2 blockers for the 2 attacks, because you just have the 12 and 12 in the board. So you go 5 in the face. If we take, you just go 12, 12, 12, and then, yeah. That would be the correct order to do things. Technically, I don't think we can get out of this Yasop attack anyway, so you could go 12 in the Yasop, guarantee the kill, and then force 1 card out of hand. So let it go. Now if they go 12 into here, I mean, they literally don't even have to go 12 into here. They have 3 blockers, we have 3 attacks. Literally, you don't even have to go 12 in here. Should have just gone for game. So they do have the blocker as well, which is something I maybe wasn't thinking about. Now we have double blockers. $32 cards. Double blockers now. KO up to one of your opponent's original power 6,000 or less. So this would actually, no, it can't be KO'd. All right, this might be the way. We might have actually gotten the top deck. We may actually have the way out of this. We're gonna go 5 in the face. They should just block. Yeah, there's no reason not to. We're gonna go all the way out. We're gonna go 14 into Burgess. No, 14 into blocker. It guarantees the kill in the blocker. They let that go. We play out another blocker and pass. That's about all we got at this point, because we can take 2 hits, we can block 2 hits. They don't have a rush option. We do have big options, so that means they can't swing these Marshall D teaches, or we get them on the clapback. I mean, this is a tough match. Altogether, this is a tough match. They could tap 4 here, liberate one of our blockers. Liberation would be really bad for us. I think we just let this go. Liberation on Lucky Roo is kind of what I'm expecting. Some kind of removal effect would be good. We have to let that go here. We could have blocked out, but then we just, then they just go for the Gusto in the face. Well, no, even then they just swing another 12 into Rayleigh and remove it. They play Kuzan, which is a blocker, and then on KO play 1 5 cost or lower from your trash. Do they have a 5 cost or lower blocker? I don't think so. I'm not seeing one. So they did put a blocker on the board, though. They can literally just sit on 3 blockers right now and then just pass. They can swing in with Marshall D Teach, and then boom. That would just be the game, because we go 5, 5, 10, 12, possibly. We'll leader effect because we still have it. Might as well. See, now they're having to math it out. They have a Vasco shot. So, 4 blockers, 4 attacks, no cards in hand, no rush. If we literally just had 1 rush option, we don't lose. Like, legitimately. Wait. 7 trash. 5, 5, 5, 5. We have game. 5 in the face. That's a blocker. Because they have no cards in hand. We just had the answer. They couldn't discard anything to stop our on-play effects. So we just play this out, trash the Kuzan. They have 3 blockers. Now we go 5 more. They have to block. We're going to go 10 with Shanks next, and then we're going to hit them with Uta. I want you to know we're putting the finishing move with Uta. I want you to know that. GG's. We ended up getting it. That was such a close matchup. That was actually a really good Marshall D Teach match. I really thought we were against the ropes, and we ended up just pulling it out of our ass. So GG's to our opponent. We had a Rayleigh and a Shanks in our trash, or in our life, which would have been 0 counter. Again, GG's. That was Shanks. Guys, I hope you enjoyed Shanks today. That was so much fun to play. Hope you enjoyed the 3 matchups. It wasn't just 3 of the same matchups. We actually got some different ones on the dev build of the sim, which is where you can get this in the MyBatsu link tree. If you just look up MyBatsu on X or Twitter, or whatever you call it nowadays. GG's to all the opponents. It was a lot of fun playing. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.